Hello and welcome. My name is Sharon and this is Trio.of.Witches Tarot. This is an unfair deck comparison of the Goliath with the Wild Unknown. So first let's look at the guidebooks. So like I said, I have the mini edition, so it comes in a tin of the Wild Unknown. And it comes with this little tiny guidebook, which I think is kind of the same, if not exactly the same, as the bigger one as far as content. Obviously the fonts are different. The mini is actually easier to read because it's not in this kind of scribbly font. I got the bigger guidebook for cheap, so I didn't care. It's kind of nice to have a bigger one sometimes. But so I mean, it's a decent guidebook, and it talks a little bit about the reasoning and creation of the deck, which I always appreciate. And is there some spreads in the back or anything? No, so I don't think there's any spreads in it. So oh, here we go. Okay, so I lied. Okay, so there is more info past when she talks about the suits and stuff. So that's that guidebook. Then there's the Goliath guidebook, which is huge. The font is kind of small. I think it's bigger than the first edition, but it's still small. I still need reading glasses. But there is so much for each card, including the minor arcana. So let's not do so like the 8 of Pentacles, there's this much info, the 7, this much info. So there is a ton. So why am I comparing these two decks? Well, they both, well, I know that Goliath is intended to be a shamanistic deck, and I believe that Wild Unknown is, if it's not explicitly stated, it still feels like that's the intent to me. And they are very similar, but I think that in almost every case, the card in Goliath beats out the card in the Wild Unknown. Just for the energy that is emanated by having these rays and stuff pales in comparison to me to the energy that is radiated in the Goliath. So we have a little bit of color in the Wild Unknown, and the Goliath is just black and white. So yeah, I kind of don't like that the Wild Unknown has these like just trees. Like some of the cards just don't have animals on them. I would have preferred every card had an animal. These two feel incredibly similar. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking, I wonder what it would have been like to have any color in Goliath. If Goliath was like a cheaper deck, it would almost be fun to get an extra one just to color. So we have a horse and a horse, so similar. Do we have scales in this one at all? No, so we don't have any scales and justice in the Wild Unknown. And those hermits feel very similar. And Wheel of Fortune. And they both have justice as 8 and strength as 11. Both are lion. There goes my lawn mowing neighbor again. The hangman. I like the bat. Death. I like both of these. I think that this is really well done in Wild Unknown. And they're both goats. This one seems much more menacing, though. And these both have a tree that's on fire, but you know, this still has animals too. So I think it is much more powerful. And neither of these stars really hit the mark for me. I like this one, but it doesn't quite make it for me. I will forgive that in the deck. And this moon, I love it. And the sun, I think that's just wonderful. And Goliath. This one totally misses for me. And Judgment. And you can feel that polar bear pointing his finger at us and accusing us for his plight. And he's not wrong. And both of these worlds, I'm kind of, definitely, of the two, this Goliath is better. But they both kind of, I don't know. I have to work with that more. Love this wand. So the amount of energy in that Goliath one is undeniable. This one just kind of lays flat for me. And there we have the three. They're both arranged in the same shape, just pointing up or down. Still like this one better. And this one's, I hadn't thought about it. Okay, so there's the ones emanating out. That's cool. This one, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. So some of them, and a lot of them, almost all of them, in the Wild Unknown are super, super pippish. And so you really have to lean on your numerology there. It's interesting. It's almost like a swords card. And the 6. Yeah, I don't know. This one I feel like better depicts that if we're going with like the RWS kind of definition. And an otter, I mean, you can't, is it? Yes, it's an otter. You just, there is no contest with the otter. I love that these are like meteors. This one I also like, that I like when all of the wands are coming together to a focal point of that energy, rather than where we have the 8 wands and they're separate and that energy is a little more dispersed. The 9 of wands. And the 10. So they're, oh, they must be in the middle there. Okay. Yeah, this one, I mean, yes, this feels like more of a burden than this one does. It's just 10 wands. And then we have daughter, son, mother, father in the Wild Unknown. And we stick to the traditional, I believe, in the Goliath. Oh, I love this card. It just gets me every time. Okay, so now we have the cups. This one's amazing. This one's okay. This one feels like it has a lot of alchemy in it. And this one just, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. 2 cups and 2 roses just doesn't. It just doesn't. 3 of cups. This one feels more menacing, kind of, I guess. And there's no cups in it, which is kind of odd. So I almost lean more towards what's in the Wild Unknown on that one. I might be talking myself into the larger Wild Unknown. I thought I was never going to get it, but now that I'm doing this, there's some cards in here that work very well for me. This one not in particular. We'll see by the end of this. So yeah, this one, hands down, is better for me. And the 6. Again, the trees alone just don't, I mean, you might as well just have the 6 cups. It doesn't do anything for me. And in the 7, I don't understand why there's 7 and 1 upside down. This feels more like a 5. This feels like a 7. And the 8. I mean, they're very similar in, you know, the cups upside down, you know, fallen over or broken, but, you know, you got the cat and the staircase. The 9. Love this 10 of cups. And I love her. Or is it a her? The spots, it's a fawn still, isn't it? I don't know. If you know about deer, tell me. It feels like I have to do. There it is. I love this knight. I love his mother, or queen, I mean. And I love this king. It's like all the, you know, these have a third eye, a lot of them. Is it just the kings? I don't know. I feel like there's a third eye there, even though there's not. So the Ace of Swords, both of them are a snake with a sword. So I don't know, you tell me which one of these two you think is better. I'm kind of torn on that one, although the colors on this snake don't work for me. Wish it was just green. Hands down. Although it's interesting, it's almost like a Two of Swords plus a Two of Wands, but coming out of its eyes is kind of a strange card. I have to think about that one. This one doesn't do anything for me. This is very interesting. I haven't really thought about this Three of Swords much. I mean, she avoided having a heart in it, but it's still like the same to me. And the Four. This one kind of creeps me out because in Goliath, because it, oops. Kind of creeps me out because it almost looks like the rabbit is dead with its eyes open. Wish its eyes were closed so it had more of that, looked like it was sleeping. And this one, I mean, it's okay. I don't dislike it. And the Five, I mean, two scorpions, that's awesome. This is like, what, I don't even know. It looks like worms. I'm not sure I understand. Is it worms? It must be worms. Why are there worms? I don't get it. Love this. I don't know. What is that? It's just swords on the ground. And the Seven. Love this. And this is nice, but I don't get that Seven of Swords vibe from it. And the Eight. This is like the companion to that Judgment card. Let's find that Judgment card. There it is. Look at those two. Oops. Look at those two together. That's amazing. I just love this deck. I'm sorry. I love Goliath. And the Nine, this giant wave, that's so cool. What is that on the sand there? Oh, it's like, is it supposed to be like a sandcastle or something? This one, I don't know, weird eyeballs and worms and a claw. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sorry. And the 10. I mean, if she was going this route in Wild Unknown, it almost isn't far enough. Like, there should have been some color, blood or something. It's interesting that it's a tree that's stabbed in this one. Those are very, very similar, right? Still, the way the use of that white in the stack just blows me away. And then the night or the sun. And this is really a good representation. I could do with all little lines in the background. And very similar with this wins. And then they're both owls. still. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so now the pentacles. So I like the use of the different bird talons. Do all birds have talons, or only some? What are bird feet if they're not talons? If you know, tell me below, because I'm curious now. So I still like this one better. This is cool with the butterfly. I would have preferred, though, that rather than the lemniscate being colored, that the butterfly was colored. I don't know. If I get the Wild Unknown bigger one, I would color it, I think. Do you have Wild Unknown? Have you colored it? I would love to know what you did. Or if you have a video of what you did. I want to see it. And I love these guys, but it every time reminds me of Monty Python, the Holy Grail, for some reason. Or something else. Oh, Time Bandits. Also Time Bandits. This really reminds me of Time Bandits. I'm going to do a video coming up where I do tarot in the movies and tarot in TV. So, and I'll share like screenshots of. So, okay, so this is like hands down the better Five of Pentacles. And then the 6. Okay, we're getting there. And then the 7. I mean, this is better. It's just 7. Both of these are a spider. This one is just better. And the 9. And look at that, the energy that's floating up out of the lotuses. That's just incredible. I don't know. It's 9 with 4 feathers around it. It's like 9 plus 4 swords. I kind of get bothered when there's like these mixing of things that have symbols. So we have the Tree of Life here, which I don't know anything about. And so therefore I could have done without it on this card. But it also is giving me an opportunity to learn about the Tree of Life and maybe why is that on this card. There you go. 10 Pentacles. This is so cool. And this isn't bad, but next to this, it's just like, right? Maybe not? No? You disagree? Oh, this is so cool. Again, I just love El Goliath. And I wouldn't even call it an anthropomorphic deck. It's, love that third eye. It's its own thing. And the last one. Okay, so that was my side-by-side unfair deck comparison of the Wild Unknown and the El Goliath. I would really, really love to hear your comments, especially about the Wild Unknown, and if you like it and why, and if you disagree with me, I really want to know why. And if you have it and you modded it, I would love to hear about how you modded it and if it made it better for you. So thanks again for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and turn on the bell so you will be alerted when I have new videos up. Bye and have a nice day. Well, it's time for another giveaway, and this time it is not a deck I don't jive with, but a deck that it was almost cheaper to buy 2 copies and not pay for shipping than it was to buy 1 copy and pay for shipping. So I thought, well, I'll just pay the little bit extra money. I'll get a second copy and I will put it up in a giveaway. So as you saw, it's called Womanhood Revisited. And if you want to enter the drawing for this deck, put the word womanhood in your comments and you will be entered, and you can enter in as many times as you want, but only once per video. So if you put in womanhood 5 times on the same video, you still only get 1 entry for that video. This should go a little faster. And so this deck is collage art and colorizations of like old newspaper articles and stuff and other art that he found. That's such a pretty world card. And I saw this on someone's Instagram, I believe it was, and it was the Fool card. And I just fell in love with that Fool card. And then I went out and found, I think I asked that person where they got this, and they told me that they just got it on Etsy. And it is indeed on Etsy. It's a French produced deck, so it came from France, and that's why the shipping was so expensive. And that's why buying the second copy was only a little bit more, because it got free shipping than if I just got 1 and paid for shipping. So you, whoever you are that wins this, are the recipient of a brand new deck that I just decided to buy so I could share it, because I really, really like this deck and I don't think people know about it. And I will be doing a side-by-side comparison of this with, I'm not sure what yet, something, with something. Obviously it's all women, and I guess you could call it, some of it curated art. Not really art, like it's just old pop culture stuff, maybe you could say. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of info on it, and then his Facebook page is in French, and at least I think it is. But I think it's a fun little deck. I'm not in love with backs. I cannot think of almost anything else that would be better than these backs. I don't even understand the backs with the front, but and it's like that more kind of cheapy feeling cardstock, so you could probably bend it and mess it up if you weren't careful with it. So that is Womanhood Revisited, and if you would like to enter to win, enter the word womanhood in your comments below, and always remember to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.